What should I get my customers and my friends for Christmas this year? I don't know. Maybe you know what? Chocolate is, oh, no, I gave them chocolate last year. Well, what else? Those fidget spinners. Everybody likes those. No, nobody likes those anymore. They're yesterday's news. Wait a second. I could give them one of my secret Jeff Hardy Chef Jeff content recipes. They'd appreciate it. It's tasty. It's delicious. It would show that I appreciate them, but I'd have to let them in on one of my secrets. I would have to show them the box. Open the box of secret contents and share the recipe for the Chef Jeff Savory Spice Rub. So these are the ingredients. There's 12 of them. Now, this is just half because I'm making a lot for all my customers and friends and family, so I'm making bowls and bowls full. But there's a couple that I want to point out in particular that are important. Note paprika, not just paprika, sweet Hungarian paprika. There's 5 different types. This is the best one for savoriness. Next thing is lemons. It's not lemon juice we're after, it's lemon zest. And you can't use powdered lemon zest or lemon pepper or granulated lemon. You've got to do the work and use those microplanes and take the zest off. It's because I love you all. I'm going to do a lot of work. Anyway, these are the ingredients. Let's put them together. The ingredients start off with brown sugar and kosher salt. I use dark brown sugar, lots of molasses in it, and I use kosher salt. Kosher salt, as you may know, has absolutely nothing to do with religion or other dietary requirements. Kosher salt doesn't have anything mixed into it. Most table salt has baking powder or baking soda mixed in to help it keep from clumping. Kosher salt's better for cooking. Anyway, here's all these other ingredients. This section lasts a full minute of me just pouring things in a bowl and stirring it, because it's sped up 20 times and actually took me almost a half an hour to do. All the other ingredients are listed right there on the label on the jar that I sent you, so if you're really interested, you can see them all in the order. If you really want the recipe, however, send me an email and I'll give you a detailed breakdown of what's inside. I now come to the part where I spend half an hour doing nothing but zesting lemons, and if that doesn't prove my affection for you all, I do not know what does. So all those wonderful flavors go into these little jars, and you got one, and all the ingredients are right there on the side. How do you use it? I use it in everything. You can put it a beautiful rub on the outside of a pork roast. You can sprinkle it on top of your meatloaf and it makes a beautiful crust. Ellen, and for a midnight snack, uses it to season her hard-boiled eggs. It's amazing. Anything you want to add flavor to. But nothing beats a good old American hamburger, and we're going to make probably the best American hamburger you've ever had. And you don't need mayonnaise, you don't need ketchup, you don't need mustard, you just need this and some onion and you're good. I'll show you how to do it. And I know I've got a few vegan and vegetarian friends out there. I've got a recipe for vegetables on this as well. I'll do a separate video. I'll post it as well, let you know when it's up. But I'll do a video on how to use this to cook cauliflower steaks. But let's get started at making the best hamburger you've ever had. Every chef's story starts with knife selection. You choose your knife. This one's no good, too small. How about this next one up? Oh, very fine knife, but it's not quite right, is it? This beautiful next knife is my 8-inch Chef from Henkel's. It's beautiful, German engineering, and it's amazing as well, but it's not enough. I have a Jedi knife. It's a bad pun, but it's a beautiful knife filled with Jedi skill. Let's try it out, shall we? Ah, yes. Feel the power of the dark side of cooking. Okay, time to stop messing around. We've got onions to slice, and slice them we do. Slice a whole onion. You're going to need it as thin as possible. I'll tell you why in just a minute. One of the best things about this seasoning mix is you don't have to use expensive meat. These are just 2 80-20 chuck patties that have been properly thawed and texturized and not pressed too hard and ready to go. And you just season them a lot. Don't be shy. One of the mistakes cooks make is they under-season. I'm not talking about salt. This mix that I just sent you was just about 10% salt. The rest of it is spices like cinnamon and paprika and mustard and all these other crazy great things. So season a lot. Wait for the sound. Did you hear it? So the pan was hot enough. Here's another one. Point is to make sure that your pan has a little bit of cooking oil, spray oil in there just to keep it from sticking, that your pan is hot enough so that it gets a sear right away. If it doesn't, it cooks off and the seasoning just falls right off. So you gotta make sure the fire is hot enough. We're trying to get a little bit of a crust on it. Cook it 3 minutes aside first and then 1 minute per side after that, and we're gonna have some success. In just a second here, you'll see. Watch right now. See that? Look right there. See the crust? I wish I had more crust on there, but that's where all the flavor is. Now, take off some of that oil, take some of the oil out. But here's a problem that a lot of Americans, a lot of my fellow countrymen make this big mistake. See all that? That's flavor in the pan. If you were a Frenchman, you would just dump some wine in there, but we're going to make it something a little bit more savory. We're going to dump in onions. Onions have enough water to deglaze the pan. I also put a little splash of bourbon in there too, but you can use any type of alcohol. You could use wine, you could use vodka. I like the smoky flavor of bourbon. You want to get a good caramelization. You'll notice, yeah, you can put a little bit more of the seasoning mix inside there. We want to bring as much flavor as we possibly can to these onions because they are the total flavor for this burger. Time to assemble. Burger first. On a toasted roll, I prefer onion rolls. And then you pile as many of those caramelized onions on top of that burger as you can before it falls off on you. Now, your only problem is going to be, how do you stop at just one burger? Important safety tip, only make one per person. That way, you don't overeat. Now, you want some bright flavors with this. You could have a nice vinaigrette salad to go on the side, but you could also do something else. For me, I prefer a nice cocktail. And the cocktail of choice I have is whiskey sour. Let's make one, shall we? Bright, tart flavor of that whiskey sour is the perfect complement for a hamburger. Got the recipe for this cocktail and 5 of my other favorite top cocktails set aside, ready to go. Shoot me an email. Happy to send it to you. I hope you enjoyed our little Christmas cooking show and the spice mix that I've sent you all. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I can't help but feel very optimistic about 2018. I think we're all going to do some great things together. I look forward to working with every single one of you. Until we talk again,